the things that we thought the Steelers would be able to hold their end of the bargain with Aaron Rodgers is the defense will be okay and they'll make plays. And, hey, they've invested in the O-line the last few years. They should be able to run the ball. And they can't do that worth a crap either. So that's where you look at it. We talk about the defense not being good. I mean, damn, the offense is what, bottom 5 or 6 or 7 in the NFL too. The running game is 25th in football. So none of that is matching up to Steelers football right now. And, yeah, I don't know where this is going to go, Mike, but I don't think it's going anywhere special. That's what I will say.
Another topic that came up yesterday during Mike Tomlin's early week press conference, the status of Teryl Austin, the defensive coordinator, as the play caller. Mike Tomlin, one of the few coaches who doesn't call the plays on the side of the ball that helped him get to where he is. And I know there's some consternation in Pittsburgh about that, but he delegates it. Teryl Austin has it. Here's Tomlin on whether he's considered taking that back from Teryl Austin.
I've known Teryl a long time. He's very capable. He's very thorough. I've largely been pleased with his work, but certainly he and I are not pleased with where we are right now from a defensive unit perspective, and so we're just going to keep working. We make no excuses about how or why we fall short. Our job is to perform and perform at a high level, and we haven't done that. And so I'm excited about getting back to it. 7 games or whatever doesn't make a season. We certainly got more in front of us and more opportunities to write our story, whether it's individuals, whether it's a component of our team, or whether it's our team in general. I think that's our general mindset.
He was asked whether or not Austin's authority to call the plays would be taken away, and he said, that's not on the table as we sit here today.
Yeah.
That implies that it could land on the table at some point. It's not on the table as we sit here today.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to read too much into it, but I also don't want to read not enough into it. But if it goes back to the fact that the players just aren't good enough, it doesn't matter.
That's what I go back to. I don't sit there watching film with Pittsburgh, and I've watched them on that side of the ball a few times in the last few weeks. I don't sit there and go, oh, man, what a stupid defense. This isn't sound. That doesn't make sense. I mean, you saw it, Mike. Quarterback's about to get hit. He throws a ball up in the air. It's a helicopter. Tucker Kraft catches it, runs for 60 yards. That's on the players, all right?
And again, it happened.
You're right. Jordan Love scrambles out of the pocket. It's a single safety defense. When you're the single safety, the rule is nobody gets behind you as the single safety. Right? He scrambles to the right, throws a ball over the top of that single safety to Christian Watson to get them down inside the 10-yard line. That's what I'm talking about, right? And like Mike Tomlin's got his fingerprints all over that defense. You know that. We know that. First off, that's who he is. Second off, we watched Hard Knocks AFC North last year. He's in every defensive meeting running them all. I mean, he's in there. I don't need to know that about Mike Tomlin. I know that from their coaches. He's a psycho. That's why who he is. He's the hardest worker. He's the head coach. He's the hardest worker. It's to me, he told you, I think, right there with, I'm pleased with Teryl Austin's work. I think was his way of going, I got no problem with some of the defenses we're calling right now. Like, there's nothing we can do when our D tackles are get pushed back 4 yards and they run the ball up the middle and no one touches the running back until he's 6 yards down the field. The defense is fine when you don't even hear Patrick Queen or Peyton Wilson's name for a quarter and they're middle linebackers and it's supposed to be making every other tackle, right? So it's all of that. Joey Porter, first-round pick. Not that. He's a good player. He's not a first-round talent. Put him on an island, do that. Nothing is coming through for them on that side of the ball, except for T.J. Watt, who's not even coming through to the same extent that we know him to come through for most years of his career. And that's where it's all hitting the fan right now.
And before you start emailing, Joey Porter was technically a second-round pick.
Oh, my bad.
But
yeah,
he was the 32nd overall pick,
right.
So he was essentially a first-round pick. That was the year the Dolphins lost their first-round pick for rampant tampering with Tom Brady and Sean Payton.
Right. We'll see where this goes,
And again,
man.
I say all of this as a Mike Tomlin fan. You say all of this as a Tomlin guy.
You know that.
But it just kind of rings hollow when someone tells me there are no excuses. Well, if there's no consequences, it doesn't take a whole lot of courage, for lack of a better term, to say there's no excuses.
Yeah.
Because there's no consequences.
Well,
they're never going to fire him.
Yeah.
They're never going to fire him.
Maybe not.
And, you know, at some point, our presumption that not only would he immediately land with another team, but other teams would fire coaches they otherwise would be happy to keep. At some point, that window is going to close. At some point, it's going to close. Because there's a certain number of years that you go without winning a playoff game that makes that coach less automatically, instantly, we have to go get him desirable. And maybe it's just a thing where I mean, he's been there 20 years.
Yeah.
In the modern NFL, that's unheard of.
It's unheard of.
And look at what it did for Andy Reid to go from Philadelphia to Kansas City. I keep saying of your guy, Kyle, at some point he needs to go somewhere else. He needs a fresh start. You just sometimes need that.
I hear you.
And I appreciate the fact that the Steelers have had 3 coaches since 1969. But again, at times I feel like that's their thing.
Right.
That's so much of their identity. They're going to stick with a guy, even when it's in their interest to make a change and his interest to make a change. They're going to stick with it because that's their thing. And they're not going to give up their thing.
I hear you there. Yeah, are they a little too into that to make a decision that needs to be made? And I don't know. You're right. It is their thing.
He should be. And this is just sometimes things when you're talking about pro football and how much it changes every year. Sometimes the coach maybe he needs it more than the team does.
Right. I mean, I think that was Andy Reid in Philadelphia. That's where I think he was at. So, yes, sometimes it runs its course. It's over. Like you said, sometimes the messaging gets stale. The other thing that I think
I didn't plan to say any of this today.
Well, no.
I haven't been thinking about this, but it all just kind of lined up for us.
Well, and I think the other thing, too, that hurts guys like Mike Tomlin or my buddy Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, and I've had these conversations with other coaches in the NFL. Hey, our team's not playing well on defense. We're not running the ball we'd like to do. You know what Mike Tomlin would have done 10 years ago? You know what he would have done? And this is where he's handcuffed now, guys like him. He would have gone, we're going to go out in full pads today. We're going to hit. Point. We're going to play some football. We're going to work on tackling. We're going to run the ball up the middle in a full contact type of drill here and practice. And those are the things that it's hard to work on that stuff. Oh, gosh, we only have 6 more times this year we can put on the full pads. So I got to be careful about when I do it because and then I have an older team to where I don't know if I want to wear them out. So there's a lot of things there. But regardless, yeah, I think the rules hurt guys like Mike Tomlin at times where you said, what's the consequences, right? His old consequences would be like, we're not playing good. Go put your full pads on. Have fun at practice on Wednesday and Thursday this week. It's going to be physical, right? That's what he would have done. Now the league's different, and he doesn't have that ability to kind of hammer it home that way like he once did.
That gets back to the point about not handling adversity well. He was asked, how do you fix it? And I glossed over that earlier, but listen to what he said. Consider these words in light of what you just said.
Okay.
The first component of fixing it is acknowledging it. You really don't get an opportunity to fix it until you face those circumstances again. And so we spent some time acknowledging it. We're going to get back to work. We certainly believe that we work in the right spirit. We do the right things environmentally. We're going to get back to work and wait for an opportunity to rectify it. You can spend a lot of time talking about your ills, but the true fixes come in stadiums. In stadiums, right? That's why I sometimes hesitate to respond to how do you fix it question. There's certain procedurally things that you go about doing that can fix it, but the fix happens in the stadium and the rest of it is just talk. The stadium is the place where you're in full pads. The stadium is the place where you get the opportunity to experience adversity. The coach can no longer inflict adversity on the team during the season by putting them in pads and telling them to go out there and beat the shit out of each other.
Exactly.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
So he's stuck, and all those coaches are stuck because that was always the penalty. Hell, when I played grade school football and was getting a foot up my ass if I lollygagged and getting dragged around by my cheap little face mask if I was in the wrong spot.
Right.
We knew one thing.
That resonates.
If we had a bad game,
right.
If we had a bad game, the next practice was not going to be pleasant.
Right. Right. That's I know. That's the old school way, but it's a new era and it's a little different.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.